Hey, thank you so much for tuning into this video series on how to build an angel operating system in Notion. So I am Max, and over the last 3 to 4 years, I've invested in a ton of different companies all around the world as an angel investor. Companies like OnDeck, Junto, Instant Commerce, SendSpark, MicroAcquire, and several other. And in the past, I always had the struggle that for my angel investing, I wasn't managing it very properly, I would say. So as a VC, the big funds, they all have proper CRM systems, portfolio management systems. But I thought, hey, for my angel investing practice, this doesn't make sense. So I only use different forms of Google Sheets. I got most of the decks via email, and now I decided to change that and want to take you on this experiment on building a full-fledged operating system in Notion. Notion, because it's one of my favorite productivity tools and I use it a lot for my daily tasks. And we are going to create in a couple of videos a full system to manage my angel investments, but I will happily share that also with you so you can do the same for yourself. Really excited to also have your feedback and ideas on which features to include. And today we are going to start out with the roadmap. So the 8 main things that I want to cover in the template are: I want to create information on co-investors and founders. That means, for example, if one of my portfolio companies is raising a new round, I want to have a list of all the co-investors I can approach for that. I want to have a list of all the founders that have been creating my portfolio companies. Then we will need some kind of company database to use the information in different areas of the template. Obviously, most important, we will need a deal flow pipeline, so something like a CRM that we can use to track the different deals. I want to have some kind of portfolio tab to see which companies are active in my portfolio. I want to then also use this kind of data to visualize KPIs and also have data on whether my business angel investing is a good idea or a bad idea. And then I have 3 more things. So first one, value add. I want to create some kind of mini portfolio page on my investing and also showcase the value add that I can offer to my portfolio startups. I want to create some automations that make it easier for me to handle all the investing. And then finally, we are going to create some kind of template section that helps me to really quickly give feedback to startups, answer them some questions. And we are going to do this over the course of a couple of videos so that you can really pick the ones that you want to look at. And today we are starting with the co-investor and founder tabs, so everything in regards to people. And let's do that. Okay, so if you are familiar with Notion, you know that we are going to create a page first, and this page is around co-investors. The reason for me to build this kind of page is that I want to have an overview of the people I invest in, but also use them for future deals that I facilitate or founders that I want to help. And we are going to create the page for that and start out with a simple table view that we are going to add here. And obviously this is a new database that we are going to call co-investors. And because we don't need the title here, I would hide it. And now we are going to start out with the first properties for the co-investors. So obviously we are going to start out with the name of the person. And to work on the properties, I always like to open up one card, and then we are going to start. So name of the person is the first thing that we want. Then we want to have an email address of the person. So for example, max@maxflight.com. And we want to have some kind of multi-select on the firm that they are working in. So this could either be their personal investing entity, but this could also be a VC that they are working for. And this is the next step that we want to add here. So what type of investor are we looking at? Most likely this can be an angel investor, this can be a VC, this can be an accelerator, or this can also be, for example, a syndicate lead. And feel free to add as many different selects here as you want. Could also be a family office, and you can be totally this is totally customizable for your table. Okay, in terms of contact data, I would like to have their website URL. If they have a website, I want to have the URL towards their LinkedIn, because sometimes some people prefer to be contacted on LinkedIn, but it's also nice to send that to founders to showcase the past accomplishments of any co-investor. So we have email, URL, LinkedIn. Another thing that we could add, depends if you want or not, but I like it, is the Twitter. So if they are creating some content, this could also be very, very interesting. So we have all the contact data here. We have the firm, we have the type, and then very important, now we want to create a multi-select that we call area of focus. And with that, I mean, what kind of companies are they investing in? So this could be something like SaaS, this could be marketplaces, this could be community, but also e-commerce, and feel free to add as many categories as you like. Later on, it's really, really easy to filter these categories and find the right investors for any kind of startup here. Okay, so next thing that is interesting is the, as I would call it, average check size. So how much money is this investor investing? And we are going to change the type of the field to USD. And for example, if it's an angel, it could be 50K, 100K, but for an VC investor, it could also be a bigger check size. And around the focus and almost thesis, we can also add another multi-select with stages. So in which kind of stages are these investors investing? Oh, so let's add stages here, and let's pre-fill it with pre-seed, seed, series A, seed stage, up to series B. And obviously you can customize all of this for your very own investment OS. So the next information that I want to add is the countries they invest in. And this could be either global. Oh, let's change that to a different type of field. So obviously this should also be multi-select. So countries of investment. And we can say global, we can say US, Europe, but also any other country. And last but not least, I also want to have the information where the investor is located. So if they are investing locally or want to meet up, it's easier for me to also track that down. So I would add another field that says location. And I would divide it here into country on the one hand. Okay, and this could also be obviously a multi-select because could be several countries that he or she is living in. And last but not least, I would also do a multi-select on location, city. So could be, I don't know, London, Berlin, however. And I think we are now done with most of the field that we would need. And the good thing about Notion is you can also always add templates below here for first calls, for any calls that you're having with them, and we are going to do that in a second. Okay, so let's see what we have created here. We have all the information in the overview, and then we can create a new template for an investor that we are talking to. And for me, some things are interesting. So first of all, for me, it's interesting to have the background on the investor. So if I talk to them the first time, they are telling me about what they have been doing in the past, the company they founded. Then I want to know about other portfolio companies that they are having that might be interesting for me. And I also want to have some thoughts on their thesis if they are sharing it. And last but not least, always good to have some kind of meeting notes here. So we are going to just type in the different types of headings, and then with the template we can fill that later on. And I'm just leaving some brackets here so that I know that this needs to be filled. And for the meeting notes, I always love to create these kind of like toggle lists or toggle headings in this case, and then say meeting on, or yeah, meeting's good, meeting on, and then date here. And as you can see, now we have created our template and we can set it as a default for all views in co-investors. And I would also edit the name as co-investor name. And now we will be filling it out with one example. Okay, so we have created the whole structure and now we want to see how it looks there with a filled in investor. And to do that, we are going to take a friend of mine. He has a VC fund called Interface Capital. It's Niklas Jansen. He co-founded Blinkist before, and we are going to take the information and put it into the list. And to do that, I would say, hey, create a new co-investor name, and then we are going to fill all of the information in. So the firm here is Interface Capital. Area of focus, mainly SaaS, but also a little bit of crypto. The type, they are a VC. Average check size is 500,000 US dollars. Countries of investment is mainly in Europe, but I think they are also doing a lot of global deals, but I will also add to Germany here. The stages, they invest in pre-seed and seed companies. He is based in Germany, the city, Berlin. I also add the URL here. I can then add his email, niklas@interfacecap.com. I don't have a LinkedIn, but let's just see if they have something here. No, they don't have a LinkedIn, but a Twitter. I can add that here. And then on the background of him, he is the co-founder of Blinkist. In regards to other portfolio companies, I'm not sure, but this is how I would create a new co-investor here. And now I create this list of all the people I've met over time that are actively investing, and it's really, really cool to take that later on. And it's really easy to find co-investors for new deals if you have this kind of table. And you can rearrange all the fields as you like, but obviously you can also always create filters later on, and I'm just going to show you real quick how you do that. So for example, we want to have a new view with a filter that says, okay, we just want VC investors in this case, or angel investors later on, and we can just use this filter. We would rename the view to only VC. And so you can really easily switch in the different tabs and use all the information that you have stored. Okay, so co-investor tab finished for today. And now we need to create another people tab on the founders. So we are going to do the same thing, create a new page, founders, and then we are going to create a new so let's use just an icon that shows that they are working really, really hard. And then we are really creating a table again. And it's almost the same information as in the investor table, but a little bit different. So let's start out with the properties. And from the founders, we also want to have several information. So starting out with an email address. We want to have the phone number to call them if something is up. Then we want to have the URL to their personal website if they have some. We want to have the LinkedIn profile, so we are also going to take the URL for that and rename it to LinkedIn. Then we are going to save the Twitter profile, and obviously this is all information. The more information that you have, the better, but if you don't want to put in all the information, that's also fine. And okay, so email, phone, URL, LinkedIn, Twitter. What else can we use? So at some point we need to create a roll-up or a relation towards a company that they created, but we haven't created the company tab yet, so we will not do that right now, but rather stay with the basic information here. And the same as with the investor tab, you can also create a template on the founders, but most of the information that I want to store will be stored in the deal page or the company page, so I'm not adding some information here right now probably. And yeah, let's jump over to the main view, and as we see, we have created the co-investors and the founders, and in the next video we are going to create the company profiles and the deal flow pipeline. So we have completed that. Next up, company and deal flow, and see you in the next video. I hope this was helpful, and leave some ideas in the comments on the things that you would love to see in this kind of Notion operating system, and see you soon.